Hi, I'm Tom Mastriani, and this is Wine and Dine with Mastro, where food and magic meet. And we're going to be pairing food with wine and cooking, and tonight is Italian night. So we're going to get started with some really great wines, and then we're going to pair them up with some really great dishes. So let's start with the wines. So we're going to start with Blindfold, which is from the Prisoner Wine Company, and it's a blended white Californian. This is a beautiful wine. It's light, it's crisp, but it's still full-bodied. So when we pair it with something that's kind of creamy or light, it'll just blend beautifully. It has a nice long finish, and it's just a great wine. So we're going to open it up and try it out. First, we're going to take our trusty wine key, and we just want to give it a... It's got a nice straw yellow color, and it looks good. It looks beautiful. Great color, great balance. If you look, we can see how much alcohol is in here by the legs. And it's not that high. I'd say it's somewhere around 12%. I've got notes of like creamy Carneros is in there, so it's a very nice aroma. You can feel it. I'd say they call it a mid palate, where it goes down. It's very well balanced. It's not too acidic. It's not pulling in the sides of your mouth. It's just flowing right down. I feel it right about here right now. It's very good. Beautiful. All right. I'm going to pair that with a penne alla vodka. Nice cream sauce. It's going to be beautiful. All right, so let's get started with the cooking, and we're going to let this air out a little bit too. Where it will change. Most wines will change in flavors as it opens up. Think of it as a genie in the bottle. Once you open the top, genie comes out. What's the first thing he does? Rubs his eyes, he's got to wake up, he's got to stretch. So that's exactly what's happening with the wine. It's got to stretch, it's been in there for a couple of years. Actually, since 2016, so it's been about 2 years. So it's going to open up, and just check out this guy. He's been in that bottle blindfolded. What a mess. So I think he needs some time to open up. All right, so we're going to cook while this is lightening up. So we're going to start with our onions, and with one large baseball size onion. Now this thing right here, you do not want to cut that first, because that's where most of the sulfuric dioxide lives. So as soon as you cut that off, it all escapes, goes right for your eyes, and boom, you're crying. So we're going to avoid that. We're going to slice. This is a great way of slicing an onion. Okay, so now cut it into nice, fairly large chunks. Now we need our garlic. Just smack it, it just falls right out. And right now I can feel just a little tinge of the onion. But you know what works really well when you start feeling that? You swirl the wine. Put your eye deep inside the glass. This way you can see the color. There it goes, it's gone. No more onion. Try that at home. All right, so now we've got our onion, we've got our garlic, all sliced up, and now we need our prosciutto. So we're going to take some Italian prosciutto and about 1/3 of a pound. And the way I like to roll it up, we're going to cut it into fairly large ribbons. All right, so we've got our prosciutto, garlic, and our onions. All right, so we have this all together now. Now we're gonna go and put it in the pot. So first of all, we're gonna need salt and pepper on each one of these. And then let's put it on right here. So certainly need salt on everybody. And salt and garlic if you have to mash it together. All right, first we need a little olive oil, and then we're gonna put on a heat. Let's do that first. And then we'll need a good layer of olive oil in here. And then we're gonna throw in our prosciutto first, because that's the first thing we wanna do. And a little pepper. Slightly browning it so that it releases all its fat, because that's the secret. That's the secret of penne alla vodka. It's rendering the fat. It smells good already. So we're just gonna wait for it to brown. Then we're gonna put in our garlic and our onions on top of it. All right, so this is just about ready for me to put in the garlic and the onions. We'll give it another minute. So the prosciutto's ready. Now we're gonna add in now you gotta remember, there are no rules in cooking. In order, add a little bit more as we need. When you bake, there's rules. When you cook, there's no rules. So, that is smelling so good. With the garlic, the prosciutto's already cooked a little bit, and then we're going to deglaze it. So when we've got all that fat rendered off or rendered apart from the prosciutto, then we're going to put the vodka in, and then you're going to see that magic. You know, this is where food and magic meet. So, watch this. Vodka, this just happens to be all I have, but we're going to use it. And you can use any vodka, doesn't really matter. All right. Take a look at this. Notice how it's nice and clear. You know, the fat is clear, the onions are clear. Now, when we add the vodka, we're going to add about okay. And now everything that was stuck to the bottom has now just lifted right off and moved into, you can call it a gravy. Right now it's a gravy. After we add the tomatoes in and all that, then it'll be called a sauce. But right now, we're going to call it a gravy because it's brown. So take a look at this. See the color's all brown? It's beautiful. Now we got to add our tomatoes. We've got diced tomatoes. And then a little tomato paste. These are from the garden. These are okay. They're not as pretty as these vine ripened ones. So we're going to use a little mixture of both. So we're going to use these and take the ends out. Now if you put your finger right in the middle here, just spin around. It's an easy way to take the core out of anything, an apple or anything. Just pluck it right out. All right, so those are. It's always good to have a sharp knife. You can use a tomato knife. While I'm cutting up these tomatoes, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the pasta on right now, so we're gonna have to wait about 9 minutes for that. So let's put that on now. We've got the water boiling, and we're gonna put this in. So, again, I like to use penny because penny has these little ridges in it. And those little ridges are really good for, you know, the sauce sticks to it. Remember, never rinse your pasta either. So let's put it in the pot. Let it cook for about 7 minutes. Then we'll check it, make sure it's al dente, because once it sits in the sauce for a while, you don't want it to get mushy. That's the last thing you want to happen. And we're gonna put a little salt in there. Just brings out the flavors a little bit more. And that's it, we're good to go. And here's the other secret ingredient, which I'm not gonna tell you guys about, but we've got a little bit of red pepper. So in the water, that's right, just a little bit here. Nobody has to know about it. Everybody will complain about it. Oh, it's too hot. But you know what? This is the way it's gotta be. When their eyes roll and say, ooh, that's so good. It has a little thing to it. It's like, yeah, that's that pepper that we stuck in there. So. Cover this while we prep the other tomatoes. Now the size really doesn't matter too much when we're cutting it up for the sauce. You just want them to be pretty much evenly sliced. So these look pretty good. All right, these we don't want in there. And we're gonna throw these in the pot. All right. So this is opened up for a little bit while we're waiting for our sauce to cook a little bit. A little more creamy, not as chilled as it was. It's still opening up. I'd still give it another 5 minutes or so, then it'll be just right. So let's get these tomatoes in the pot. Now the combination of the tomatoes with, you know, the fresh tomatoes and the canned tomatoes is we want to, when we do a combination, you're getting different textures in the sauce. So it's like those onions were cut really large. This is a very chunky kind of sauce, but you'll see, it comes out really, really good. So, all right. And now we wait. I usually let the sauce cook for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. Sometimes I'll leave it in the oven all night and then I'll bring it out and finish it in the morning. But right now we're gonna do it in the oven. We're gonna cook it for about, I guess about an hour. So into the oven, 350, and we'll let it cook. We gotta keep an eye on our pasta. See those pepper flakes floating in there? They're having fun. They're just having a swimming adventure. All right, we'll be right back. All right, now that we're all cleaned up, we gotta get that pasta out of the bowl because we don't want to overcook it. So. Now, we're going to another wine now. It's going to be a Nebbiolo, which is an Italian wine. It's not quite a Barbaresco, but the grape itself is too young to be considered a Barbaresco, which is a lot older and tighter, richer flavor. So they can't call this particular wine Barbaresco. So it's a Nebbiolo, and it's more like a Pinot Noir. It's lighter. It'll go well with this type of pasta dish. So let's give it a shot. Let's pull it. All right. Pellicero, and that's it's always good to keep it on a nice solid base when you're opening the wine. So it's much easier. You don't want to have any kind of accidents, you know. Spill it, ruin a nice white shirt. That's why I don't wear white. All right. All right. See, it's a ruby red with slight, if you look at the edges, it's kind of a darkish, brownish color. Okay. So, ooh, big cherry fruit, almost tobacco. You got some unsmoked tobacco. So raw tobacco and cherry. It smells really good. It's interesting, very light. Tannins are a little tight. It's pulling in on the sides of my mouth and my tongue. And it's light. It's definitely a light wine. The flavor is a little tight. So mildly acidic. So we're gonna try it with the sauce, see how it goes. All right, now we're gonna check on the sauce and the pasta. So let's go into the oven and check this out. Now, take a look at this. See the way this is cooking? You've got all the oils and the fat floating to the top, and it's taking on a nice brown color. And that's what you're looking for. I mean, this is, and the smell is tremendous. Tomatoes still have to cook a little bit longer. If you're cooking with this kind of pot in the oven, make sure that you do not touch the pot, do not touch the top. It is so hot, it's ridiculous, 350 degrees. Which reminds me, types of wine, my scale goes from 1 to 7, and 1 is do not touch. And when I'm saying do not touch, in this case, do not touch the top of this lid because it is hot. So let's get it back in here. So now we have to add once that cooks a little bit more, we're gonna add the cream. We're gonna, right now, chop up a little basil and shred the cheese. I like to use shredded cheese. It's easier to cook into it. And then I like to do a shaved cheese for the top. With the basil, there's this nice little trick here. You roll it up, it's called chiffonade. And basically you roll it up. And chiffonade means, the word means ribbons. So little ribbons. So we're gonna chop this into little ribbons. Let's put those off to the side. Grab our cheese. Now like big pieces of shaved cheese on top. Okay, that should do it. All right, then we'll cut this up a little bit. What we can also do is try the wine with the cheese, because wine and cheese pair very nicely, usually. So we'll start with the blindfold and take a bite of the cheese. Cheese is nice, light, creamy, a little bit of a bite, a little crystalline in there. You want that in a good parm. Oh yeah, just pops, totally pops. Where the fruit flavors of the wine are just brought out. The saltiness of the cheese just enhances. They complement each other very well. Let's try it with the Nebbiolo. It smells really good. So that tastes a whole lot better, actually. Maybe this wine opened up a little bit also, but the cheese and the acidity of the wine complement each other really well also. When you contrast, like opposites attract, that's what we're getting here with this. It pulls out the fruitiness and the fruit flavors and the citrus all gets pulled out and enhanced. So that's the whole thing about food and wine pairing, because it's always giving you, it's like an exploration. You're going on an exploration to find new tastes and flavors. All right, let's finish off our pasta. All right, so now the sauce is cooked for about an hour or so, and the sauce has turned really brown, the tomatoes broken up, and now we're gonna add the heavy cream. So, again, be very careful pulling it out of here. that. Amazing. That is killer right there. Okay, so now stir this up. And if you notice, the edges are nice and brown. And the best thing about cooking in the oven, you never have to stir the sauce. I mean, you don't never have to, but you don't have to continually stir the sauce. So it's cooking in the pot evenly, so it's not going to burn on the bottom. It's impossible. And that'll give us a nice pink color, and it'll balance out the entire thing. All right, so now we've got the heavy cream in there, and we're going to add shredded Parm. Okay, and we're going to stir this in. That'll add that extra creaminess, a little extra saltiness. And you're like, what are you, crazy? Yes, I'm crazy. It's one thing, Now we'll just let this cook down for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. Now we're going to take the basil, stir in some of this basil. Now this basil is it's a special kind of basil. It's like a baby basil. It's very spicy, but subtle in its own way. So, all right, we're gonna let that cook for about 10 minutes, and then we're gonna plate it and eat it. All right, now we're gonna try another wine. So let me grab one more out of the rack here, and we're gonna go with a Robert Mondavi Fumé Blanc, okay, another white that will complement this meal also. Fumé Blanc will cut through the fat. It blends very well, where if you have those fatty type of things like the cheese and the cream, the acidity of this will cut right through that fat, and hopefully it'll explode into something that is phenomenal. So let's open it up and try it. All right. So this Fumé Blanc, it's Robert Mondavi. It's Californian. This is Sauvignon Blanc grape, and it should work very well with any kind of creamy or like a foie gras or something fatty. Even a burger it would go well with. All right, so this Fumé Blanc, Sauvignon Blanc grape from Robert Mondavi, California, Napa Valley. Very pale straw yellow color. Oh. You ever go outside after they just cut your lawn, or you just cut your lawn, and you smell like grass? See, when you put your nose into a glass of wine, it always brings you back. Like you're walking down the street, you smell honeysuckle, or you smell, fresh cut grass. And they say one of the things that brings back memories is the aromas. So when you smell something, it always brings you back to a time, a memory. So in this case, the grass was just cut, bright sunny day. And in the morning, there was a slight mist, okay, just keeping the air cool. Ah, that smells great. All right, let's give it a taste. Bright, fresh, crisp. Ooh, okay, I'm getting citrus, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of orange, tangerine. Yeah, that's what I'm pulling out of there. Doesn't pop as much as with the blindfold, but it flows like you're on a river, and it just continues to flow when you're in there. It's a little turbulent, but it's fun. It depends on the mood you're in, but if it's summertime, if it's early in the morning, late in the afternoon, but try not to drink too early in the morning. But this is very nice. This is very nice. So, but they're two totally different wines. All right, let's put our pasta together, start plating it, and then we'll taste it with the pasta and these wines. The cream doesn't break, so you're not overcooking it, because you always risk, if you overheat cream in any kind of sauce, you're going to, and right now that temperature was pretty high at 435. We're gonna put it in this fancy bowl and ladle it into the bottom of the bowl. Okay. And you can't have too much of this. All right, so we're gonna get some pasta in there. All right, so you want to get some of this chiffonade basil on top, and you want to kind of garnish it with this cheese. There we go. Penne alla vodka, or Mastro alla vodka, or penne alla Mastro. Either way, let me get a fork and a plate, and we'll taste this. So. Oh yeah. You gotta get that basil. I was just talking to some people about a restaurant where the guy takes the basil, he's got plants growing all around the kitchen, and he just cuts the basil off the plants and it goes into the food. It's a beautiful thing, best thing you could do. But let's give this a shot. Oh yeah, that works. Oh, the basil just pops. But let's try it with the wine, hold on. Decisions. I'm gonna try the Nebbiolo first. A little tight. There's a bit of a fight going on with that. Okay. Let's try. All right. Now I'm gonna try the blindfold. Oh yeah. It's a great color. Almost like a Chardonnay. Oh yeah, that pops. That really, really goes well. I could eat this and drink this all day. It's a perfect pairing. That's great. And that's the Blindfold by the Prisoner Wine Company. And this is the Mondati. So we're gonna give this a taste. Let me taste a little bit more of this. So good. Wow. The crispness cuts right through the fat, leaves your palate clean. The wine lingers a little bit more. This is still very good. Nebbiolo is good also. Depends, I think, on the mood you're in, but they'll all go well with it, depending on what you have before and after. This would be good towards the end of the meal. Have your coffee and cake after. And then this will, depending on the time of year. Summer, anytime. All right, there you have it. Penne alla vodka and some 3 great wines. I gotta say, thanks for joining me for another episode of Wine and Dine at Mastro, where food and magic meet. Join me on my website, mastrotv.com, where you can see all my great recipes and some really great wines. So, see you next time. Cheers.